This is the butter flavoring thing. I've ruined about 6 uniforms cleaning this thing out. Nice big bowl. I've been here like a year. This thing's been cleaned out once. You know, the next time you get a buttered popcorn at a movie theater. Is my boss gonna see this?
No.
Okay.
You want to know about the whole popcorn scoop thing? Yeah. It was sort of a weird like thing. Okay, just so you know, I'm accustomed to working during the matinees, like pretty much every afternoon by myself, because it's, you know, it gets really slow during the week, and they only need one person. So I'm usually there by myself, and I have my patterns of the way I do things, and you know, everything, and it's no big deal. I mean, I'm used to working on the weekends with a bunch of other people, and everything's done, you know, considerably differently. So it's no big deal. But for a while, Jerry was working with me on the weekdays, and so, you know, he'd be running around doing his stuff. He'd be going upstairs and doing all his, like, you know, big wig paperwork kind of stuff and all that kind of thing. And
he was sitting here behind Candy, you know, selling popcorn. That's nice. Doing that kind of stuff. And I'm left-handed. When I do the popcorn, I use my left hand, and there's a scoop that, this thing, I shovel the popcorn in the bucket, and then I leave it right here on the left side. Everybody else is right-handed, so they leave it over here. I just, out of habit, I leave it on the left side.
He'd occasionally, you know, like show up behind the candy counter and start, you know, screwing with stuff. And one of the things he always did is he'd walk by, you know, he'd stroll by the thing, and he'd grab the scooper and like do 2 passes of the popcorn for no reason. Why I can't see any reason why he would possibly need to do that, you know. And then he'd set it down on the other end, which is something that I had already told him irritates me. But, you know, it was never a big deal. It's just like, it's kind of irritating. I mean, you know, you go to grab it here and it's not there, it's over here. What's the big deal? There is no big deal.
And so I left it there, and then Dustin looks at me and he moves it back, but he wasn't using it, so I thought I was pretty stupid. So I took it and I moved it back, walked away, he took it, moved it back. Went on that like that for about 10 minutes.
Continued to do it time after time after time after time, and one day I just kind of flipped out. You know, I got a little upset, and I guess I sort of threw the thing. I didn't throw it at him. I threw it, you know, on the ground.
Finally, he came up, picked this up, didn't even look at me, just went like that. Stormed off. And then he didn't talk to me. I asked him what the hell he was doing. He didn't talk to me for about half an hour.
And we had a little talk about it.
And finally, he was just sitting there at the register, staring straight ahead. And he turns around and he's like, I know you do that to annoy me. Which I don't, you know. At that time I was, just because, you know, it was kind of fun. But, whoa.
And I guess in retrospect, it's really not that big of a deal, but it doesn't irritate me as much as it used to. I think I got that out of my system.
Usually, people treat a public establishment much like how they'd imagine their homes they'd like to be treated. So if you go over to somebody's house, you generally don't show up and just start pouring stuff all over the floor, vomiting on the seats, doing that kind of thing. At a theater, for some reason, I don't know, it's the dark. It's people feel like they want to just like let loose and unleash their dark side. So people come into the theater and they decide, I will just dump everything on the floor. I do not care. And so, you know, I think I actually have a theory about how it goes. Somebody comes in when they're like 4 years old. They bring in a bucket of popcorn with their mom. They're eating the popcorn. When you're 4 years old, you're kind of clumsy. They drop the popcorn, spill it all over, or the Coke or whatever. They whisper to their mom, you know, hey, mom, I dropped the popcorn. What am I going to do? And mom says, don't worry, doesn't matter. They'll clean it up. So the next time the kid goes, he realizes he has impunity to drop whatever kind of garbage he wants on the floor. So, you know, it's dark, nobody can see him, so he just goes hog wild. And it pretty much goes like that, you know, as they grow up. So they go in their 20s, they're still dropping stuff, except now they're dropping big bottles of booze.
Truthfully, I find myself as one of the most responsible employees at the United Artists Theaters. And if given a job, I'll do it. If told to clean something, I'll do it. And, you know, put it, I mean, really brutally, truthfully, I upsell like the devil. I mean, regardless of you know how I feel, I do what is given to me, and I am not a destructive person. I mean, I don't go home and punish my pets or set things on fire, and I've never ever been to a monster truck rally, but I do partake in something, a long-held tradition of anyone who has ever closed.
On a Thursday night.